this video I want to have a look on the person of the Antichrist. Well, the first question will be, is the Antichrist, is it a person or is it much more something like a system? Okay, it is both. So the spirit of the Antichrist, this started quite early, actually exact after Jesus came on earth, because then it was already fighting against Jesus and want to bring Jesus down. And from this day on, the system, this Antichrist is on earth, and it is always against Jesus and again his church. And sometimes in the Bible we will even find scripture what talk in plural from Antichrist. So there is not only one Antichrist, but there are like a lot of small Antichrists. Exactly, this is what we are seeing also today. But then if we will go to the book of Revelation or in the book of Daniel, then we will realize, well, they are talking about one person of the Antichrist. So let us get this all together. The system of the Antichrist is already here and it is already existing. But in the end and in the last days, this power will come all together and then it will be in one person unit. So this person, it will be a person, a human like you and I are, with everything, nose, eyes and whatever. What does the Bible tell us all about this person? Well, actually, maybe the Antichrist, this person is living already now. We never know, but maybe also he will be born in 50 years or whatever. But yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe he's already here. But we won't know him till he will come in action. So what we need are some information, and then we will get a clearer view. So the best thing is to find out a lot of stuff about the Antichrist is in the book of Daniel and in the book of the Revelation. So if we will start with the book of the Revelation and you start to read about the Antichrist, you will say, oh my God, Basil, you are talking about a human person with eyes and everything, but this sounds more like a zombie. This is like an alien or something like this with a lot of heads and eyes and everything. So that doesn't sound any more like human. So we have to understand one thing. In the Bible, and especially when it comes to prophecy, there is a lot of symbolic. And I know there are really some good Bible teachers and they can explain all the symbolic. So I don't want to focus on this thing. So I just want to focus on the clear facts, what we have. And there we have a look in the book of Daniel. The first thing what we see is that the Antichrist, he will do a Lego of the nations. So Lego of the nations, what is this? We had this already once. It was directly after the First World War, and it didn't work so good because it didn't take so long, and then we got another war. But it means there will be something going on. And the Antichrist, he will be the person who will get all the nations together and let them sign a contract, something like this, so that there is like trying to get some peace in this world. The second point is quite interesting because we will see that the Antichrist, he will sit in the temple. Well, the temple, let me think about it. Well, the temple is destroyed 70 after Christ, but the land where it should stand, this is right now a little bit challenging because there is another building on this land. And this is not a building where you can just say, okay, come on, let us get some bulldozer and we will destroy it. But what we can see, and we have to understand, that when the Antichrist will come in charge, the temple will also be built up again. So it can happen maybe directly after the Antichrist comes in charge or maybe just before. However, but just in this small timeline, the temple will be rose up again. And what I believe, just because I also understand a little bit the people in the Middle East, whenever this building, what is right now there, will disappear, whatever, because there was an earthquake or there was a war or other destruction, and there will be the temple of the Jews standing there, I don't believe that they will like this idea. And I even believe it will go so far that we will have a religion war over there in this area. And then the interesting thing, what will happen, that the Antichrist, he will sit in the temple and he will start to doing the sacrifice rituals again. So he will be something like a priest. And now we have to ask one question. So if the Antichrist is sitting in the temple, in the Jewish temple, and we know that the Jewish people, well, will they let a Chinese, Arabic, or Egypt, or a European person just sit in their temple and do the sacrifice? Well, I don't believe that. But also the Bible tells us and gives us a lot of indices that the Antichrist, he will be a Jewish, because in Daniel 11:24 we can read that Daniel says he won't follow anymore the ways what his father and his father were doing. He will go new ways. So that shows us the Antichrist, he will be a Jew, and he will sit in the temple and he will do all the sacrifice. The other thing what we can think about, because you say, well, I thought the Antichrist, he's again Jesus and again God, but now he's sitting in the temple and he's doing sacrifices. Well, that sounds not so bad. Yeah, it is bad, because actually it is something where he is seducing the people. He is trying to get them in a wrong way, because he is even showing them, hey, in the end, he will even say, I am God. He is not only against Christ, but he is also want to be something like Christ, so to bring the people to the wrong direction. And this is what we see what will happen in the temple in Israel. So the first seal what will be open in the book of the Revelation, this seal belongs to the Antichrist. And it says, and I looked, and behold, a white horse, and his rider had a bow, and a crown was given to him. And he came to conquering and to conquer. And that means that in the beginning, God will give the Antichrist his space to go out to seduce the people and to get his victory. The people will be so amazed of the Antichrist, because he is doing amazing wonders and miracles. Just let us have a look to 2 Thessaloniki 2 verse 9. It says, coming of the lowest one is by the activities of Satan with all power and fierce signs and wonders. He will do amazing stuff, and this will seduce more people to follow him. Another amazement moment will be that the Antichrist, he will be hidden. So everyone will think, oh, he's dying. But then, like a miracle, he will get healed and he will just raise up and be full of life. And all the people will say, oh, that's amazing. What a miracle happened here. This guy is really something special. What we see is that the Antichrist, he has something like a PR manager, and this guy, he's going out and he also can do signs and miracles, but he is not trying to get the focus on himself, but much more that the people, they all give the glory and their worship to the Antichrist. After 3.5 years, the whole atmosphere will change, because then the Antichrist will stop doing the sacrifices in the temple, and he will declare himself that he is God, and then he will get a statue what looks exact like him. But this statue is quite amazing, and because it is so special, this statue, it gets life and it gets the possibility to talk, and it has the opportunity to control all the people and to decide over death or life. And everyone has to start to worship this statue. So the League of the Nations, they will have it really hard to follow the Antichrist, but okay, no other decision, no other chance, so they have to go through it. And even Jesus warned his disciple in Matthew 24, and he say, hey, whenever you will see this sculpture in the temple, hey, be careful, then the last day is really close. So this, whenever this will happen, yeah, then we're quite close to the end. And the next thing what we will see is that now the Antichrist, he will start to blaspheme against God, and he will talk a lot of bad things and everything what is completely against God. This didn't happen maybe so in this way in the first 3.5 years, because he was still playing like, wow, I'm the nice priest, and yeah, I'm just doing here sacrifice in the temple. But now the true face of him will come out. And now we will have one topic where a lot of Christians always talk about, and it is about the mark of the beast. And the mark of the beast, this is something what the Antichrist will start after these 3.5 years. So it will put the sculpture in the temple, and then it will mark all the people who follow him. So they will get a sign on their right hand or on their head, and this will show that they belong to the Antichrist. And it is like a decision. You can say, hey, I belong to God or I belong to the Antichrist. Whoever doesn't have this sign, he cannot buy or sell anything. So with this sign, the Antichrist will control a lot of stuff. And now let me just think about one thing. So if the Bible say that this sign will first happen after 3.5 years from the last days, well, why are so many Christians are always going crazy and starting to say, oh, could the vaccine be the sign of the beast? Or could this be the sign of the beast? Or this be the sign of the beast? So no, we don't have to get ourselves so crazy. So I'm confessed from this that I will never get in this situation that I have to take this sign, because I believe that I will be taken home much earlier before all these things happen. And if you will ask me now and say, hey Basim, but why is it then a warning in the Bible? Well, that's quite easy, because there will be a lot of newborn Christians, and for them is the warning so that they don't take this sign. And in the end of these last 7 years, he will do one thing. He will go out and convince all the nations to fight against Israel. And all the nations will start to fight against Israel. First, the kingdoms of the south will come and fight against Israel, and then later the king of the north will come. So, but this is almost the end, because Jesus is coming then back with his army, and then the Antichrist, he will find his end and he will be thrown into hell. So I hope I could give you a good basics all over the Antichrist, so you can understand a little bit what the Bible says and talk about the Antichrist. And whenever you still have some question, hey, just leave a comment, and maybe I or even the community will answer this question for you. So hopefully I will see you in the next video.